People are setting up jars called haircuts.
Wow.
And that makes me sit there and go,
How much are haircuts? That's what I would say.
That's the question. But they're putting $5 and $10 away. Now, we know it's tough out there, cost of living, but people are planning ahead, which is exactly what we want to do. I made some changes and we restructured the team. I think we had 35,000 in the RBS ABN AMRO merger, and it was down to about 17,000 by the time. But at the time, the CBA shares were $144 or something.
He couldn't buy them.
So he couldn't buy them outside of Raiz, but he could buy them through Raiz. And then he got in the March 2 years ago, a dividend from CBA. So he got so he owned 20 on whatever, 3, 4, 8%. He got 8% of the dividend. And it came up in the app, CBA has invested their dividend, reinvested their dividend. He took a screenshot of it and he put it on social. He said, I've banked with CBA for 42 years. You're going to take me out for lunch after this. And it comes to $58.60. You don't want to round to 59, you want to round to 60.
Do I?
Probably. You will. But so how do we do that?
I'm paying cash.
It's so how do you it's a difficult technology.
That's probably the most effective way.
Well, it's so 6% of our inflows into the fund come from roundups, but it's a nice 6% because you don't miss it.
Brendan, welcome to Give It a Nudge. Finally.
It's been a while, Steve. Thanks for having me and actually letting me in the door.
We were just talking about this, it's been 6 years since I first suggested it.
6 years and a lot of these, mate, a lot of these grey hairs.
I mean, I've had people that have taken a year to get on, but 6 years.
Mate, you know how popular I am. Come on.
You've obviously been getting out and about in the summer sun. You're looking very tanned today.
Mate, I mow the lawns and I wash the car in the sun. It's not so much, obviously.
And you live in Bondi?
Yeah, I live in Bondi with a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old. We spend a lot of time in the pool or on the side of the sporting field in the sun.
That does do it for
you. Do it, yeah.
Well, welcome. We're here not to talk about the children, although we could touch on them if you wish, but we're here to talk about that symbol on your chest, Raiz.
Lovely.
Now, I know Raiz from its initial
Acorns days.
Because I opened an Acorns account because someone sent it to me and we were just doing startup stuff and I was like, that's a startup. I should join it. You were there then, right?
Yes.
Yep. So you've been there pretty much since the beginning?
Since the start, yes.
Since
we brought it out from Newport Beach, California.
And you are about to hit 10 years in this. 10
years in February next year.
And you have listed it?
We've listed in that time. Well, we've done a hell of a lot in that time.
And you're at $2 billion managed funds.
$2 billion of funds under management for our customers, yes.
So that in itself is enough. We can finish the episode right here. This is why I haven't seen you for 6 years, because you've been busy.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you were in traditional banking before, right?
Yes.
Was it RBS? Royal Bank of Scotland?
Yes, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Good memory.
So I guess I'm intrigued as to how someone from a very traditional banking background in Australia went into the startup world, which wasn't really the startup world then. I mean, the ecosystem was tiny back then, right? But before we get into that and the journey that Raiz is and where it's going from here and all the innovations you've done, quick snapshot on you. Everyone wants to know because, who is this man that's achieved these things in the last 10 years? So you ended up were you in corporate banking or were you investment banking?
Well, mate, I'll go one before that, and I don't tell many people this, but
this is good.
Not. I grew up in Newcastle. I tell everyone that because I'm proud of that. But I'm an accountant by trade.
Oh my gosh!
So that's even a little bit more traditional than going into banking. So I left Newcastle, and the accounting firm at the time, all the rave was going at 12 months experience in another jurisdiction on finance, and then you come back to Newcastle and work in the practice, etc., become a partner. So I went over to London, got a job with the RBS, Royal Bank of Scotland, and when my time was coming up, I'm like, I'm staying here. So I spent the next 15 years with RBS through London, and I was an accountant for them in their finance team, and I ended up being the COO for Asia Pacific. So I did London, Hong Kong. I was supposed to have 6 months in Hong Kong, 6 months in Singapore, and then back to London and sort of train up and educate. And then I joined just when RBS bought NatWest.
I was recruiting for them in London at that time.
Yeah, right. Yeah, early 2000 or late 2000.
I was doing technology recruitment for them.
Yeah, right. So then I ended up Hong Kong, Singapore, and then I stayed in Asia for the next 6 years.
Hong Kong was still under British rule back then too, right?
Yeah, I did 98, and then it just switched. It was doing the handover,
Yeah.
that 10-year handover period. So.
I can't remember his name. There was pictures of him and his daughters everywhere in the press when they did the handover. I just remember it. It was very, I don't know, it was very weird.
Yes. Yeah. There's a scene setting, yeah.
It was.
Yeah. So then I did
that's
that.
a long time.
Yeah, did that. And then I came down to Australia so I was there for the RBS NatWest acquisition.
Which was massive.
And then we had the GFC problems with Her Majesty bailing out RBS with the whole ABN AMRO deal.
Yep.
But I was sent down from Hong Kong at the time to work on the ABN AMRO RBS integration down here in Sydney. So I spent just over 2 years down here for that. And then they asked me to go back to Singapore and sort of help run the banking side of the business. Global banking, which was part of global banking and markets, but I was on the banking side of it. And then I just, it was disappointing because I loved the brand. I loved RBS. I love my work, but I didn't want to be any of my bosses. So I don't know how to say that nicely.
You can't.
I just did.
And you didn't.
But I didn't, no one, I wake up and I go, well, where's my inspiration? Who do I want to be? I'm like, I'm not happy. So sort of I made some changes and we restructured the team. I think we had 35,000 in the RBS ABN AMRO merger, and it was down to about 17,000 by the time we cleaned it all up.
Brutal.
Very brutal, and especially through the GFC period. And I lacked the energy that I had getting out of bed. And so it was time for a change. So then I came back to Sydney. During the time of me in Singapore, I owned a pub with a mate in Newcastle, and then I was coming back, and that wasn't going to support both of us. So we'll put it down to educational lessons, etc. in hospitality. We had a pub here in Circular Quay in Sydney.
Which one?
Buckley's. Mark Wahlberger's burger joints in there now.
I know where it is.
Down the front there.
There was a pub there. I don't think
so
I
there was
knew
the ice
name.
bar back in the day.
Yeah, I remember.
And then
I would have drunk at that pub if that makes you feel any better.
So did I. It was great. And at the same time, I was like, I didn't want to get back into banking, but I didn't want to. I wanted to get into banking in some sort of way. I had just met my now wife.
Yep.
And she was at Westpac, so it was a corporate side of thing. I was in hospitality. It wasn't really working. I was working nights and public holidays, etc. So we said, I want to get back into finance in some way, shape, or form. How can I do it? But I didn't want to go back into hardcore investment banking. Mm-hmm. And fortunately, the opportunity to bring Acorns Grow out of Newport Beach, California, to Australia.
But how did that hit you when you're working in hospitality?
It's interesting. So one of my old RBS guys knew George Lucas.
Yep.
And he had the opportunity, and he was looking for someone to sort of bring it out with him. And Marty put us together.
There you go.
And that was 11 years ago now. It was March 15. And then in February 16, we launched what was known then as Acorns Grow Australia.
It was so different. Yeah. At that time, micro investing, micro anything.
Finteching, it was with Stone and Chalk.
Stone and Chalk
had
was
just
founded.
kicked off.
Yeah.
And
they just had their 10-year birthday the other day.
Yeah.
I went. So yeah. That's wild. Did you feel? I guess you'd already had an entrepreneurial flair to you, and I didn't know about the hospitality because I thought you jumped from RBS straight to Acorns, which is a huge leap.
Yeah.
But I guess if you're running a pub and then you go into hospitality, you're already relatively comfortable with an element of risk in your career.
Risk and change, because hospitality learnt me. There's hospitality and there's hospitality, and I'm not a hospo guy.
Yeah.
And
why'd you say that?
Just learning the ropes of it and the ins and outs of it, right to the fact where we set up a system that, got the cost of what it was to plate a meal, which we hadn't done before. So we built the systems and my Excel spreadsheets and things to get it right down to, well, what's it costing us? How can we run it? Because obviously at Circular Quay, it's a very expensive rent.
Yep.
It was something like 10,500 skewies a week to pay rent.
Wow.
And that's how I look at things and go, right, I've got a rent bill. How do I break it down? Divide that by the price of a schooner.
That's a lot of schooners.
A lot of schooners. And that's just for rent. You got wages. You got everything else on top of it. So that was a big lesson learning then, and then obviously getting Acorns up and running, and being the first ones in Australia to fractionalise. an ASX listing.
And you'd not done any tech at all, right?
No.
Have you learned a lot about tech?
Oh, yeah.
Would you consider yourself a tech guy
Absolutely
now?
not.
Are you a tech founder?
No, absolutely not. I actually had a call from my wife this morning going, I've deleted an app. because my son's got diabetes, so he's got a sensor on it. Oh, I need this. And I was like, why are you ringing me? She goes, you're a CEO of a tech company. No, I'm not.
Well, you are. You are. So I guess, all right, talk to me about that, right? So you're coming into a market with a new tech platform when there hasn't been a lot of tech platforms. So there's one adoption of technology was not as sort of easy as it is now. But at the same time, there was no competition as well. You were going in something you'd never done before. So you were going into a completely new world. It was a new world for the new world.
Yep.
How did you kick it off? And how did I end up finding out about it? Because I found out about it literally, I think, a couple of months after it started. I would actually we should have a look on my account and find out when I joined, but because I've still got it.
Yeah. I think what got me through was thinking about it. Well, no one else knows this, so it is literally a clean blank sheet of paper. Yeah. How do we do this? And if I go back to the RBS days, RBS was a phenomenal business, but the problem with us, it grew too big too quick without the foundations.
Yeah.
And it was built like this and over leveraged and high in real estate and leveraged finance businesses. So when it came crashing down, it crashed down and Her Majesty had to bail us out. You're suddenly starting with, and there was a lot of lessons learned in that. Yes, it's
hopefully
a lot of bigger scale.
A lot of people don't believe the word, but hopefully.
No, and I think it has, because where we've got the Raiz business to today is that we've built it on solid foundations. We haven't grown as quickly as I would like, as investors would like, etc. But we've done it in a right, sustainable, systematic way, and that's what a clean piece of paper
gave. It's consistently grown, right?
Yeah, it has. Yeah. We're single-digit growth year on year on customer numbers. The FUM numbers obviously getting to 2 billion to double digits, but it hasn't grown as. I know there's so much more we can still do.
Yeah.
But we've done it right. You're not going out there and I'm sure you've heard me say it before. We were not a company because there's limited cash. You're a startup.
Yep.
You're running on an oily rag, so it's not. You don't chase customers at the cost of. Anything. It's not. You don't chase it down. You got to look at your cash and go, right, what can I afford to spend? But you're getting the right customers. I could open it up now and go and spend $200-300 chasing a customer down like some of the big banks do or the mortgage brokers, but they're not the right customer.
And what do you mean? They'll flake you, they'll stop, they'll leave, kind of thing.
Yeah, they're not in it for the right thing. I mean, one thing I've learned, and again, going from the COO role in Raiz to the CEO role and looking at the wider Australian business as well. Marketing's not my biggest, strongest suit.
Yep.
Because from an accountant point of view, it's a cost. So understanding brand and acquisition was a big learning curve for me. But to be able to sit there and say, if you're going to chase a customer that doesn't want to really be in the app, they're not going to stay. They're not going to be sticky. So Raiz isn't a product flog. Again, I don't know how to say that nicely. It's not a can. It's not a widget. It's not a bottle of Evian that you can just go put. No. You can't take
Evian. No, you're showing your age. Jeez, they still sell that.
Perrier.
Oh, that's even older. Let's not get into water brands, but you're right. It's not.
But my point is if I took the label off the Evian bottle, I don't even know now what a current bubble water. San Pellegrino, maybe?
I don't know.
But if you took the label off and put a Raiz label on it, customers can still see that it's a bubble water and they'll buy it.
Yeah.
But Raiz isn't like that. You need to be educated. I need you to tell your mate at a pub on a Friday afternoon or a barbecue on a Sunday morning, hey, I've got this in Raiz and this is what I get out of it.
Yeah.
Because it's an educational process. It's not just put it up and they'll buy it. And even you just reminded me about that whole startup ecosystem because the Zips and the Afterpays customer numbers rocketed.
Yeah, crazy.
But I tell you why, if you're on the corner of Martin Place and I'm on the other corner and I'm sitting there saying, hey, give me $100, and you're saying, here's $100, pay me back in 4 equal installments. It's
pretty obvious.
Whose queue's going to be bigger?
You know where they're going.
Yeah. So we get a lot of grief about, well, you don't have the customer numbers that Afterpay. Yeah, but it's a totally different proposition.
But it's the opposite.
Exactly.
It's investing rather than spending. People don't want to invest; they want to spend. Unfortunately.
Yep. Well, that's where we come into it, and we pioneered the concepts of Roundup. So you link your debit card or your credit card to Raiz, and you buy
coffee.
I use old. I was going to say Starbucks. I don't even think there's any Starbucks
there are
around
Starbucks.
anymore.
There's one in Circular Quay, I think.
No, that's gone. I think.
Is it?
Yeah, it was under Oldfields because I used to drink there.
Is there another one on the corner of York and Grosvenor?
I don't know, but we'll go with Starbucks. We'll go with Starbucks. And you buy coffee for $4.50. We see that and we round it up to $5, and that 50 cents. As when those roundups accumulate to $5 or more, depending on how you've got your settings set, we direct debit your bank account and put it in the stock market.
Yeah.
So it sort of breaks down the barriers. It used to be, there's all these myths of you need a lot of money to invest, minimum parcels, etc. We sort of sit there and go like that. So having that sort of
passive investment,
yeah.
Right?
And how do you educate people on that? The whole hype was, and we did it. And this is back to my point, over the last couple of years, we've changed it. We used to be, hey, invest in a diversified portfolio of ETFs. What does that mean,
Vanguard.
Steve?
That's a Vanguard
What does it mean?
We don't know. That's what they just go, we are going to charge you this.
That sounds good.
Yeah, sounds really good.
Yeah. So well, no, let's change that. Let's get the right message out. Say, invest in a bunch of stocks. It's a bunch of companies. We've got an ETF, which is the exchange traded fund, and everything's piled in, and you can be a box of chocolates or a shipping container, however you want to see it.
You've got all sorts of different ones in there now.
Yeah,
you got crypto as well in there. As well.
Yeah. So we're one of the first managed investment schemes in the world to have an allocation of hardcore Bitcoin.
Yeah.
We didn't want a derivative of, we didn't want an ETF. So we said, and our customers wanted it. And then what I like about something like we've done on crypto, but all our portfolios, there's guardrails.
Mm-hmm.
There's you put in your $10 and you know what you're going into. The system makes sure those allocations to whether it be Aussie equities or the bond market or
whatever,
it stays in market. But you've got a 5% allocation to Bitcoin, hardcore Bitcoin in the Sapphire portfolio. And we were talking about 2020 earlier, and when Bitcoin was going to the moon, remember the moon emojis and all that going nuts? We had customers going, Raiz, why do you only allow 5%? By March, when it's coming down, they're like, the same individual wrote, now I know why Raiz only allows me to have a 5%.
But I'm not going to say anything to them. I'm just going to keep quiet.
Exactly.
Stare at my navel.
Yeah. But it's that strategic partnerships for a market, for a customer growth number, because we want to get in there and talk to people about it. And, we had nippers last week, and I was talking to a lady that I hadn't met before, and I had my Raiz hat on. And she said, what are you doing? She goes, oh, that sounds really good. I said, well, you should check it out. She goes, oh, it's not for me. So why isn't it for you? They got to, and we talk about. I had a conversation in the office this morning about what's Steve doing over there. Well, can I do that? And I think one of those super ads where the big monster of you.
Yeah,
I've got to get me one of those. I
like that monster ad.
Yeah, it's a good ad actually. It's just, damn it. But it's like, well, what's Steve doing over there? If we can get people to go, and so we set up Jars. Yes. So Jars is a sub savings account because people want to save.
I've seen that.
And when people sit there and said, I was on a webinar and you had the chat, you can have the instant chat down the side, and I said, guys, put in what you're saving for, and Betty put in, I'm saving for Brisbane 2032.
Jeez.
And Steve goes, that's a good idea. I want to go to the Olympics as well. But that's when Steve realised that. There is something in Raiz for me, because everybody wants
creating a dialogue, right?
Yeah.
You're creating community dialogue.
Yeah.
And you did the rewards as well, which I think you still do, right?
Yeah.
When you buy certain products and they refund money. It told me the other day, I got an email, because I get emails from you and I don't obviously.
Check it out. You would have got one about an hour ago about the Black Friday sales.
God, I don't know. But anyway, I almost don't want to buy anything on Black Friday. Just the whole thing just drives me nuts. No, it told me how much money I had made back in investments from all the purchases I'd made since I started. It was significantly more than I had thought.
Yeah, mate, we have reinvested over $10 million of rewards. So,
that's crazy.
You've seen my dog, Piper, when I walk past her. She's a gorgeous little thing, but she's got to eat. I've got to buy food for her. So I might as well use Pet Barn or Pet Circle, whichever one it is, through the Raiz app. And it's on a 6-week rotation, and I get about $12.15 cash back into my share portfolio.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy it anyway. I might as well get that cash back. And that's when that adds up to $10 million.
That's significant.
It's a lot of money. A lot of money.
Now, tell me, so when you came out as Acorns, was it still owned by the US business, or was it a separate entity?
We had, a group in Australia, we had a 50-50 joint venture. Right. They had 50%.
And then that broke away and you became Raiz, right? That was why we changed the name.
Yep. And then in January 18, so we launched February 16, January 18, we separated.
And why was that?
Just that they were taking there's a couple of things. They were taking their product to a different, more of a banking type product, not pure investing. And, I'm a big fan, and we're a big fan of you're only as good as your weakest link, so stick to your knitting. And also to the way that they had structured it, if they ever need cash, they could sell down. Instead of raising at headco, you sell your that sort of thing. But so January, we took them from, I think at the time they were about 48% because we'd done a little raise and diluted them down to about 10%. In January 18, we changed the name to Raiz on the 23rd of April 18, and we listed on the ASX.
I remember.
In June 18.
Yeah. And that would have raised significant capital, I'm guessing.
Yeah, we were $15 million.
But did you do that to buy them out? Was that the reason you did it?
We'd raised some money on the private side in the January to get them out. Well, the reason we hit the ASX for a whole numerous reasons, and a lot of people say, would you do it again? And again, lessons learned.
So that's a no?
No, I would, but there is lessons learned.
I'm sure.
On a lot of things. But what it did do is it put some money in the bank to, I won't say global domination, as any fintech startup would want, but we wanted to conquer Asia Pacific.
And that's when you went to Asia.
And we went into Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and Vietnam.
And that would have been, I imagine, oh my God. I mean, I've recruited in all those countries. The difference culturally in all of those countries is just mind-blowing. Yeah. And you're trying to launch something that's already hard enough to get people to buy into here. Exactly. And then you're going, well, let's take on a whole. How many did you do them all at the same time, or did you pick them off one at a time?
We picked them off one at a time. So Jakarta, and then because the regulatory.
Jakarta's an interesting first choice.
Well, Indonesia and the population.
I know, but I would have thought Hong Kong, Singapore more culturally similar.
Yeah, but it's the population. So Raiz is a business that the revenue model is the number of users, not funds under management.
Is that right?
Yeah. So if you went
you pay
a maintenance fee of $5.50 a month or $6.50 a month or $2.50 if you're in the light. It is the number of users. So going into Singapore, like from a Asia Pacific experience, I would have loved to have gone to Singapore first from a compliance point of view, because if the MAS
everyone
agrees,
else comes in
everyone
line.
Else follows. Everyone in Asia Pacific, the MAS and the ASIC guys, they're good. So there was a big process to get the licenses right in Indonesia, and then we also kicked off Malaysia, knowing it'll be a year or two to those things to came through, and then same as Thailand.
Yeah,
we started them off. So, but the first operational live was Indonesia.
What did you learn?
I think the biggest thing from doing something in Asia Pacific for any Australian business, and you think about how many Aussie businesses have gone, how many of our banks have gone up there and things, and a lot of them have come back with the tail between their legs.
Is it just ANZ left, I think? Or maybe,
I mean, a lot of them, like the CBAs, and they have partnership.
They're not really there. It's just really innocent ego thing.
Yes, yeah. It's. I think the biggest thing is getting the right partners in those.
Yeah.
Not only because of the culture, but the regulation, the compliance, and all that sort of stuff. We were very fortunate that Acorns did a very great, an awesome job in acquiring new customers or customers, be it new because they're just launching. But that playbook, you could pick it up and put it in Australia.
Yeah, okay.
And that was the social media advertising. Even from the fact, we launched a waiting list in the September of 15 before we went live in the February. So, we built up 25,000 emails before we'd even gone live.
I think I was on the wait list.
Yeah, you would have found about it.
I can't remember who told me about it. It was someone at work. It was a work thing. Someone at work said, hey, look at this. And I was like, that sounds fun.
Yeah. It was a great period. And again, hindsight's a beautiful thing. You do things differently, but I don't think we did things too much wrong.
No.
But then that playbook from America to Australia, totally different into those Indonesian, Malaysian businesses.
And so which was the hardest country, and which was, I guess, what surprised you the most in doing that? Because you really have to live in those countries to understand them.
You got to be there, yeah. And I'd had 9 years up there with the bank, so I got it, and I was looking after 17 different countries from the sort of Pakistan back across. So I understood the underlying complications there and the jurisdictions and currencies, etc. I think the biggest lesson learned is you got to make sure you've got the right partners to do those.
Yeah. And when you say partners, what do you mean?
Well, let's say something like in Malaysia, we were with PNB, which is one of the biggest banks, and so they had the retail brands of CIMB, Maybank, and a few others. So they're in there with that retail customer base. Yeah, so
you just had access to large numbers of people. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Doing it right with those partners, having very clear.
And how is that business now, the Asia business?
No, we've closed it.
You did close it.
Yeah. So they're all in mothballs. It's just from an Australian head co point of view, it was using a lot of cash.
I closed all my overseas offices too.
Which is and through the COVID period, it was burning cash, and we knew we hadn't cracked, and we still to this day haven't fully cracked the Aussie market. There is a commitment that we've made to all our customers to continue to grow, develop, innovate, etc. And that's where their core focus is now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So a bit of breathing space for the Australian business is good.
And so here we are now, 10 years. Are you going to have a party? I'm just angling for an invite.
We'll have something. There's a few.
I mean, we can delay this episode until after if you don't want to give it away.
No, there's a lot of things that I want to do. The party's going to be in the app. There's a lot of things I want to do.
An in-app party. How good. That's not as exciting as the party I was thinking of. I'm not as excited. I know I'm going to be invited to the in-app party. I'll see you there.
There will be a party. We had a launch party.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, at the pub.
Yeah, funny enough.
Which worked out well, so there's a venue hire.
I mean, your styling and your designs have not changed that greatly during the time. It's been very consistent, the look of the app. It has evolved, and you can see that, and it doesn't look tired and dated at all. It looks modern, but you've managed to keep it very, very consistent.
Yeah, it's very simple, and I think there needs to be now, if you look at our home screen, and I'll be fair and honest, it does need updating from a UX UI point of view.
I don't know. I mean, a little maybe. I don't think much.
Which is where the buttons are, and I'm holding my sausage roll and I can't. I've got to
maybe put the sausage roll down just for a minute.
Didn't think of that.
The logo.
Yes.
It's always interested me. I've never asked you about it. And you were there when it was done.
Yep.
And you were you were CEO then, yeah?
Australia, yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Tell me about it.
What's your view of it, Steve?
Well, it looks like the corner of to me, it looks like the corner of a frame.
Yeah, well, it's a big...
Or an arrow.
I think I and a lot of us underestimated the difficulty in changing the name because we were Acorns. Great name.
Was a great name.
Acorns from Mighty Oaks, rah, rah, rah.
Yeah, it made sense. There was a lot of...
Perfect. And it was A. So if you're ever going to do a startup, you've got to think about the alphabetical order.
I went with an N.
Yeah, I know.
And then P. Jesus.
I remember the Acorns guy saying to me what they learned from the brand specialist is and it makes sense. Keep it short. Nudge, nice and short. Raiz, nice and short. Acorns, nice and short. But if you're ever going to, and that was well before we were even operational, if you're going to end yourself, because they don't have the yellow pages anymore. That's how old I am, or the phone books.
My first job was using the yellow pages, calling people on it, asking if they wanted to hire. That was my first job.
If you're going to final awards ceremony, they will list the finalists in alphabetical order.
Of course they will.
People go, oh, Acorns at the top, they must have won.
But that's not true.
Maybe true.
I don't know. We'd have to go back and look.
Yeah. But so that's one thing I learned about.
That why the yellow pages isn't around anymore.
Well, you always rang the first electrician that you saw.
Yeah.
Or the biggest ad.
What was the biggest ad?
Biggest ad.
Anything that was half page or more. Yeah.
Well, they must be good.
He spent some money on that. Got big writing.
Oh, dude. They were a great doorstop.
Did you design it? Did you get someone in to design it?
No, externally.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a good team.
I mean, it's worked. The name Raiz works.
Yeah.
It still makes sense.
Yeah. And what do they, this is the marketing speak that you'd be better at me. It's the fodder that can come off it. So we and, as I said to you earlier, we're going to reverse this around on the Raise Your Game podcast. Yeah, it's raise your knowledge, raise your wealth, raise your experiences, finance. It works well.
Have you had, I was just thinking as you were saying all that, if you go back to when you launched, there was no one raising money because there was no ecosystem here. Yeah. Obviously now, much bigger ecosystem, people are raising all the time.
Everywhere, yep.
Have you had anyone call you asking for help to raise money because they misunderstood?
No.
I ask you that because if you remember, my first recruitment business was called Fingerprint. And at least once a week, we would get someone call up, ask us to come and fingerprint their place. And we're like, we're a recruitment company. We can't do that. I even thought about setting up an offshoot department to do it. We got that many inquiries. You got business. So I just wondered, as that word has become so much more common in language, which it wasn't before, just wondered whether it ever happened.
Yeah, no, not that I can remember. I tell you what, there's some crackers come through the customer support. And I'm trying to think of them now and I can't, but you've just made me laugh about a few things. Like, what was that about? I can't quite remember. Someone asked saying, I thought you paid the roundup.
Oh. That's
not the most
we're
constructive business model I've ever seen.
Yeah, you tell you what, you'd have picked up a lot more users.
Exactly.
From what? from where?
I signed up because you're using my data and you're paying the roundup. I thought that was a good deal. It is a good deal.
It's a great deal.
Well, those ones are too good to be true.
Let's go through the product now just to make sure. So I'm gonna try and go through the product, right? And you can correct me because I do go on there from time to time. I probably look at it every couple of months.
Yep.
So you commit to a certain amount of a monthly amount, right? Which ideally would be more than $5 because that's what it costs to run the accounts. Otherwise it's at zero, right? So let's say you commit, say I'm going to put in $20 a week, $100 a month, whatever it is. You can make that whatever it is. You can change it anytime. There's the roundup. So if I buy something at $4.95, it's $5. Is it anything over 50 cents basically that rounds up?
Anything from if you have you can have a whole dollar amount. So,
you can change it, can't you?
So if you buy coffee for $5, you could have the whole dollar amount rounded up of 1 cent. Right the way through to 99 cents.
Right, cool. And then that obviously keeps topping up. And as you said, you have certain times when it removes it.
Yep, you can boost your roundups.
You can boost your rounds up. I've done that.
Yeah, 3
just
to 5.
Out of sheer boredom sitting there on the app. Well, boost that. It sounds like a good idea.
Well, it's hard because if you're going to take me out for lunch after this and it comes to $58.60. You don't want to round to 59, you want to round to 60.
Do I?
Probably. You will. But so how do we do that?
I'm paying cash.
It's so how do you and it's a difficult technology.
That's probably the most effective way.
Well, it's so 6% of our inflows into the fund come from roundups, but it's a nice 6% because you don't miss it.
No, you don't notice.
My brother rang me on the weekend and goes, "Hi, yeah, mate, can you reset my password?"
Does he ring you to reset his password?
I said,
has he seen the forgotten password link there? That's on everything he does in his life.
I'll get the guys to do it on Monday. I said, why? He goes, I've forgotten. I haven't logged in since last year. But he deliberately does that because he likes the fact that he's got, I think he's got 25
he likes to see the impact.
He rings out, he goes, yeah, cool.
Well, you have the little graph, right?
Yeah.
You know what I like? And I don't know if you do this for everyone, but the dividends, my dividends reinvest.
No, I do it just for you, Steve.
Is it an option? Or is it, my dividends always reinvest.
Yes.
And I love that the graph, there's a little dollar sign on them when there's a dividend paid and it pops up, right?
Everyone gets
the dividends, which is the smartest thing to do, obviously.
He's perfect. And I think, look, I don't.
Sometimes they're quite big, sometimes they're not.
Well,
it's exciting.
It would have been, the last number I looked at, probably 6 months ago, it was over $130 million of dividends. And the most important part about that is that a lot of our customers, because they haven't been in the market before, have never received dividends.
So they don't understand the concept of it either.
So they're educated on it. And since I'm just going to jump in because it reminded me of a guy out in Wagga Wagga that did one of the best social media posts I've ever seen on behalf of Raiz. He, CBA, when I was growing up, had the Dolomite accounts,
right?
Where it was all through your school. So this guy out in, we created this plus portfolio because customers were saying, hey, I want access to CBA shares,
right?
BHP, it's the ASX 100. So we've done that. So he put, I can't remember the exact numbers, but they're directionally. He put 20% of his portfolio he wanted to go into CBA shares. So he put $100 in, $20 would go to it. But at the time, the CBA shares were $144 or something.
He couldn't buy them.
He couldn't buy them outside of Raiz, but he could buy them through Raiz. And then he got in March 2 years ago, he got a dividend from CBA. So he got so he owned 20 on whatever, 3, 4, 8%. He got 8% of the dividend. And it came up in the app, and CBA has invested their dividend, reinvested their dividend. He took a screenshot of it and he put it on social. He said, I've banked with CBA for 42 years. Thanks, Dolomites. And all I've done is pay you fees. Thank you, Raiz, for getting me something back off them.
What was it? Probably 25 cents or something.
10 or something. But I was like, it made the hairs on my back. I'm like, good point, mate. I like it.
Yeah, well.
So just breaking down the barriers and giving them, but he'd never received a dividend. He never received interest or distributions before. There's been a lot of chat over the last 10 years about the FIRE movement, or getting your money to work for you while you're working, or get your money to work while you're sleeping. Right? Yeah, and that's what this is doing. It's magic.
Okay, well that's the dividends.
So what else do you know about Raiz?
So I know the kids. So we launched the kids product. So I now have one account for both of the kids.
Yep.
And so a percentage or a number, I can't remember what it is. I think it's a set number of my account comes out of my account. It doesn't come out of my bank account. It comes out of my Raiz and goes into their Raiz accounts.
Yep.
And then they have their own little ones, which they don't even know. I don't think I'm ever going to tell them. You've got the
I made the
rewards.
mistake of telling mine, and he's like, "How's it going, Dad?" And I went, "Yeah, I borrowed some money out of that market movement, mate. Market movement."
I might have done that here and there. And then you've got the rewards. So you've got all these providers, and the interesting thing about that is once you click through the app, it takes you to the website. So if it's I don't know, I'm trying to think of
Adidas.
Adidas. I was going to say one that isn't on there. That would be bad.
Yeah, exactly.
And I buy a pair of Adidas shoes, then I get the money come back into my account. But then if I buy another pair later and I forget, it still comes back, and it's kind of set up for life, right? So that's the cool thing about that. That's probably the most common one. You can also do, I remember this because I used to do it when I was, it doesn't matter what I was doing, but I used to do it sometimes. You can do surveys and they pay you money, can't you? Yes. I did it years ago. I remember sitting in airports doing things like that.
People sitting on the bus on the way home, the train on the way home, and they get a couple of bucks.
Yeah.
And the important thing is that, and it's made me think about it a lot, is, hey, Steve, can I have $50? Hell no, Brendan. Hey, Steve, can I have $1 50 times? Yeah, and it's the same as the Raiz Rewards. You know, I've got the pet food coming on. I buy the dog food, and it comes every 6 weeks. But something like milk runs on there, so we can do our weekly grocery shop. And
not through a milk run. That's incredibly expensive.
Yeah, well, it's off the back of Woolworths, but we had a 10% cash back the other day.
Oh,
makes it worthwhile.
What did you get? Milk.
Well, a couple of things and a run. $3 a week doesn't sound like a lot of money, but 3 times 52, you can do something with that 150.
Over 10 years?
Yeah. And then over 10 years or, if your kids say 18 years, it makes a difference. So if you're going to spend, you might as well spend it anyway.
You might as well get the...
But what we've done now, you might not have seen it because it's...
I have seen the jars, which is where
have you seen the automated rewards?
No.
This is the cracker. And
I haven't actually been on for a while.
We're the first one outside of the banks that, because we've got your transactional data for roundups, why not get a reward off that just for being Steve?
Rewarded for being me?
Being Steve.
That sounds like the best thing ever, Brendan.
Exactly. It's so
how does that work?
Say, I think it was Chemist Warehouse.
Yeah.
Well, it's one of the brands. You spend at Chemist Warehouse, because you've spent it at Chemist Warehouse on the card that's linked to Raiz. We have a partnership with Chemist Warehouse. They'll put X percentage back into your Raiz account.
Yeah. You
haven't gone to the till. You haven't pulled out your frequent flyer card. You've just left.
Flybys.
They will. People say to me,
go.
I got asked that the other day. I was like, I don't know that one for a while. People say, but why would they do that? Because what's the problem with the Audis, the Woolies, the Coles, they've got loyalty problems. They're competitive. So if they can put a cash back into your account, it creates loyalty. So the next time you go and there's a Woolies and there's Coles, you got something, you did nothing and you got some cash back.
Probably going to go to Woolies.
You probably highly likely would.
And I guess over millions of people, millions of dollars, it must have an impact.
Yep.
Otherwise they wouldn't do it. I'm sure they've done the data science.
How do you assess, and this again comes back to the brand product of Raiz, how do we get the brand? You put a billboard up at the airport, X hundred thousands of dollars or whatever it's going to cost. I have no idea what it would cost. Or you do it this way. This is measurable. It's creating loyalty, and you can work out Jara. You can't work out of that. So these guys are going, well, let's try something different.
Yeah. No, I like it. And is that the latest thing?
That's the
So that's everything. Jars, and have I missed anything?
Jars, kids. We have our Raiz Super product, which is enhancing every time. And now,
I think I'm in your Sapphire one. I think I'm in the crypto one. I changed it when it first came out. I haven't looked.
Yeah. It would have done all right. I mean, crypto's down at the moment, but you've got a 5% allocation. But the market's up. It'll be I can reset your password for you.
I don't. I think I've got Face ID. Tell your brother-in-law about that.
I did, but he's got one of these things going on. Yeah.
ZZ top look.
Yeah, exactly.
So is there anything, and you don't have to reveal it now, I mean, you're more than welcome to, but is there anything coming that is really exciting you? And I'm talking about product here before anything else.
There is, and look, we're working very hard at the moment. I'm cracking the whip because
I have no doubt.
I want them to get some things out sort of February, March in time for our 10th birthday. And that's across both.
That's the in-app party, right?
You're going to hold me to this now, aren't you? I'm going to go back and then Chris can say, what the hell's an in-app party, Brendan?
Yep. I'm out tomorrow night. I'm on in-app party.
I'll get my hair done. Mum's cooking a lamb roast. There's a lot behind the scenes. I mean, it's the way that the team works is like we want to do 2 projects for Steve as the customer, but we don't want to be like the old banks these days that have had all these bolt-on systems that don't work together. So we sort of do, right, we've got to keep our house. The owner builder's house is never completed.
Yep.
We don't want to be that. We want to make sure that this is, and with that comes the cybersecurity and all that sort of patching and fixing and all that sort of stuff. So there's a lot of that, and it goes down to the underlying screen scraping versus CDR and the BEX payment system versus the MPP, and doing those things that will make the UX a lot better and easier for customers. There's exposure to additional crypto in a controlled manner.
Okay.
Is it the Ethereums? It's never going to be a Trump coin. Sorry, Donald.
No.
It's widening the investment portfolios for the Plus product. We have as a user and a member of the fund, you can tell us what you would like to invest in.
Do you have property trusts and things in there?
Yeah, well,
I think you do, don't
that's
you?
one that we haven't touched on. It's that we have a property portfolio. So if you go into that, 70% of your portfolio will go into the equity market, 30% will go into our Raiz Residential Property Fund, and we own 13 properties in there on behalf of our members.
Have you thought about, what do you have, 5 or 6 different portfolios now? Something
8
like that?
plus the build your own.
Have you thought about going another level and saying, I actually want to go across all 8 portfolios. I want to allocate a percentage of my overall portfolio into 8 different portfolios, all of your portfolios. So super diversification, or is that too much?
Why
has he asked me this question?
Great question, Steve. When we had 5 portfolios, conservative, moderate, someone said, I want to put $20 in all of them.
Yeah.
If you looked at it, that's just put it all in the middle, because they're the same 7 ETFs. It's just the 8.
You're talking about when you had 5. Now you've got 8.
Yeah. In theory, you could build it in the Plus product.
And have you ever thought about, can you put your super in there?
So we have a Raiz super account. So
but you have to move all your super. Oh no, I
you don't have to move all your super. So if you're with one of those,
I am.
You could start up a new.
But I can't tell you which one because it gets bought every 8 hours. It seems. I constantly have a new which has been bought. I have literally no idea what it is now.
Well, if you go into the Raiz app, you can do a search on your super and you'll see where it is. And if you want it, you can roll it in, or you can just set it up.
I think it's in. I do know it's in ART because I've got the app.
Yeah. Oh, the monster.
I don't know what that is.
Is that the monster?
I don't. Oh, it might be.
Yeah, I think it is.
I actually have no idea what I just like the monster, but I don't know what from an actual advertising point of view, it's not helping because I don't know what the product is.
The monster.
Yeah, well, it's really big.
It's a pretty cool monster.
Purple.
Damn it.
There's not a lot of purple things these days. And what about you? 10 years is a long time with any business.
Mm-hmm.
Do you still feel as challenged today as you did, or do you feel more so?
Good question. And, we touched on previously about why I left RBS.
Yeah.
And it was, I didn't have that energy to get out of bed after 15 years.
You seem like you do.
Mate, I love it. I'm up every morning. I bounce into work.
Do you really bounce?
Well, the ferry does go like that.
Do you get the ferry from Rose Bay?
Yeah. Yeah, great way to walk down Newcastle.
I should do that.
It's a 10-minute walk.
I usually walk to Bondi Junction.
No, see.
Well, it's nearer for me. I don't live with you, remember? I live in a different place.
Oh, yeah, you've moved, haven't you? Come down the hill. Best way to get to the city. Yeah.
I used to do it years ago.
Ferries never run late there anyway. So, yes, I do bounce, but I'm on the 6:20 ferry every morning in.
Yep.
Done. The crew laugh at me because I talk about some ideas. And again, we're actually pretty jammed, and there's a few of us in there. But
you're still in the same building, right?
Yeah,
Bulletin.
Yeah. And what I like about it is I'll come up with all these random ideas, which is this much of an idea, but the team can finish it and get 100%.
That's your job, I feel.
Yeah.
And then it's to enable them to do it.
It annoys them, but they're like, they all laugh and then they go, actually, if we do it this way, it makes sense.
Maybe you should throw out that question that I threw to you, just say.
Yeah.
Because there is no middle of 8.
No.
Do you have to go to 2? Can you even do that?
Well,
you need to have an odd number of portfolios just to be able to do that.
You could open up a jar because under the jars you open up different portfolios.
Can you make the jar in? I understand the concept of the jars. You pick different things you want to save for, but can you make them anything? So you can literally turn them into anything.
Yep.
So I could say pair of shoes, pot plant.
Yep. Surfboard.
Anything.
Yeah. One thing what I have been surprised about is that, and I don't know why I'm going to tell you this, and people are setting up jars called haircuts.
Wow.
And that makes me sit there and go,
how much are haircuts? That's what I would be saying.
That's the question. But they're putting $5 and $10 away. Now, we know it's tough out there. cost of living, but people are planning ahead, which is exactly what we want to do. So they might be living week to week, but they know they're going to have a haircut in 6 weeks, 8 weeks' time. They might not get the full amount, but they might have saved $30.
Are they taking it out and then paying for the haircut and starting it again? Is that what they're literally doing?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is it's a real window into how tight things are.
Exactly. And that's the messaging and the education we want to give to customers. And do you know what a word cloud is?
A what, sorry?
Word cloud.
I wish I did. I really wish I did. I'm thinking about lying, but then you're going to ask me, and I don't.
Well, the team laughed at it because no one else.
Did you make this up?
I think I must have. But anyway, it's getting the name, because you can name the jar whatever you want, and there's some preset emojis if you want, like reason for your jar, saving a house or whatever. And so I got them to dump out all the names of what people are calling their jars. And then there's a tool, and I'll say AI, that you drop it in and it creates a word cloud. So the bigger the word in a bunch of words, you would have seen them.
I know what a word cloud is now. You said that. I didn't know it was called that.
Well, that's what I think everybody else thought. What is he talking about? But when I showed them,
I don't think they're called that.
Really?
I think I know what you mean now, and I think I've never heard the word cloud. Yeah, sure, but they're called something else.
So you sit there and you do it, and then because you can categorize it, like we could do one on cars.
You could, and
because you might write new car, but Brendan goes Commodore or Falcon or something like that. So you do it on that, and you can see what people are saying.
You might be able to sell that data. I'd probably be unethical.
Haven't got that far yet. I'm still in the word cloud, and I think it's a pretty cool word cloud. So you do it on all different industries.
I think we should look up what it is, and you should start using the correct term. just to make it easier for everyone to understand.
Raiz cloud, then.
No, we could call it a Raiz cloud. Or a sphere. It's kind of a sphere. Does it move? We've got one of the ones that moves where the words come forwards and disappear and come forwards and disappear. They're cool. I've seen one of those.
Well, I can't wait.
You can have that on your screen in your office.
To ask for that now.
You can literally, it would change every day.
Yeah.
It's better than a fish tank. I mean, look, it's an amazing story, really. I think what you've done is you've proven that the business model of slow and steady, because you've been through some serious turmoil in the last 10 years, but you've continuously grown. Yeah. You know, we've seen rocket ships, but we've also seen rocket disasters and explosions. So
what I'm proud about is that we can educate customers, and you and I, if you got in the cab at the airport and the taxi driver told you to buy Telstra, you're selling. That's just the way that we used to do it. This is all before we had all trading apps and things like that. We can educate customers, and before I remember it was February 18 Brexit. Trump 1.0 November. Mm-hmm. When Brexit happened, the market dropped. People withdrew money, and we're like, no, don't. You
want to put more in?
Price was here. You bought 10 eggs. Now the price is here. You can buy 12 eggs. So when it goes back up, so we built some training and education in the app, and quizzes for things. So by the time Trump came around and that turmoil in the market and Trump 1.0, they didn't withdraw. They might have gone from an aggressive portfolio to a conservative portfolio, but they didn't come out of the market. Then we go fast forward to the COVID and things like that. They are putting in more money.
Interesting. So you're actually having a positive impact on educating.
Absolutely. And that's when I look at those numbers, when I look at the average deposits and the average account balance, last time we had a proper chat, it would have been $200 or $300 average balances. It's now $5,800.
Goodness, that's enormous.
And people are sticking to it.
That's a massive change.
And I don't mind that you can sit there and say, people get to $1,200 and they want to treat themselves to $200, go for it.
Yeah.
They bring it. If they get to $1,700, they might come back to $1,500. If they get to $2,100, they come back. They're keeping that, and I call it an emergency fund or an OMG fund or something like that.
But they're keeping their account, which for you, when you're charging $5 a month, it doesn't matter. The funds don't matter. It doesn't matter if they take it in or out, as long as they stay, right?
If they've got access to it.
How many users now?
It's about 338,000.
Roughly.
Yeah, 772.
Yeah. And
off the top of my head.
Yeah, that's still a lot of people. Do you get Do you get a lot of inquiry? Like, I know you touched on there were some, but from a customer service point of view, do you get a lot, or is it? I mean, because it's a low touch product, really.
It is a low touch, and everything's online, so there's no paper based form. Where
you're not getting like 500 queries a day.
No, but what the crew do very well, Mariella runs it. It'll be what are the top issues that we've had this week?
Yeah.
Because we do not want customers calling up about that next week, because it's going to be all text-based, so the boys get in and fix it.
Yeah.
And that works very well.
It would do.
There's a Raiz Central Facebook group that some guys, Josh Young and Jake, and there's a few of them that administer it. People put, hey, I've just joined Raiz, what do I do? And everyone else is answering the questions.
Right.
So that works really well.
Yeah, that's cool.
From a customer support point of view.
Do you have an online community where your users can talk to each other?
We don't. We look at what happens on Raiz Central, but that whole community thing is what is you're stealing my plans for next year, mate.
Oh, no.
It's a good idea. I might act on that, Steve.
Well, maybe we can talk about that in that party.
Yeah. But that's so what we've learned is through the people can say, hey, what would they like to invest in? So, they go like, 12 months ago, we want more access to AI ETFs. So the investment committee will go, which are the best ETFs and whatever. So that's taught us a lot of lessons on how they do talk to each other. Then there's the jars and what people are calling the jars.
The jars was a great idea. I think you just give your customers what they want, right?
Yeah.
That'll always change.
But that's all we do. And I love the fact that they are open and honest with us. We get some great ideas, or we get some ideas again that are this good, but a couple of heads come together, it turns into a 110% project.
Yeah. Amazing.
It's really good listening to the customers.
Mate, thanks for coming in.
Pleasure.
It's good to hear it all.
Yeah.
On camera.
Yeah. Well, you got to tidy it up, you know that.
I'm looking forward to seeing. Look, I'll ask you again to come on tomorrow, and then 6 years down the track, bang, we'll be here.
Yeah, let's lock it in.
Yeah, in that party in between. It's good times.
Yeah. No, hey, and it has been. Yeah, we do pass a lot over the last 6 years, and we talk in transit.
We do,
but it's been good to sit down and have a chat.
Look, I think it's an amazing business. I really do, and it's one of the original tech businesses. And you should probably learn how to help your missus with her tech problems. But thank you for coming in, and I look forward to seeing what's next.
Absolutely, Steve. Thanks for having me.
See ya.
Appreciate it.